Alrighty, folks. Hello there, and hello, and welcome to another comprehensive Magic the Gathering Arena draft video. With 5k gold, I think it's time for us to take a break from Kaldheim and do some quick draft Theros Beyond Death to grind some gems, and I'm pretty happy right now. Got on a pretty nice win streak, 2-7 win drafts yesterday, so hopefully I can get another 7 wins, and we're still at a pretty high ranking, still early in the month, so it can go down, but rank 26 Mythic does put a smile on my face. So let's do a flashback draft, which I'm pretty well at. So let's go. So pack one, pick one, bot draft, Theros Beyond Death. We opened a pretty terrible rare. Yeah, none of these uncommons are great. Caliphate is a strange card since blue is more controlling this set, and usually you're hoping that the more blue devotion you get, the higher toughness you're supposed to get, but it increases power instead, and you don't really want to typically draft blue in this set unless you open up Staggering Insights, multiple Shimmerwing Chimeras, or the insane blue busted mythics, or yeah, rares. So yeah, it's not even that great honestly, but has potential upside. Looking at the commons, yeah, this package is terrible. There's not really anything. I guess Revoke Existence is pretty decent, pretty cheap, efficient removal in this set since there's a lot of enchantment creatures. So you don't mind main decking a card that you most likely sideboard. So it's really between um, the Caliphate, and the Revoke, and even if I end up drafting blue with a powerful blue bomb, I don't really think this card is even that great because again, power doesn't really matter too much in blue, and I guess it has the upside of having spells that target a permanent cost one more to cast. But the funny thing is, I don't even think this affects enchantments. So if they even, I guess if they use Mars Grasp on one of your creatures, it's still a permanent that enters the battlefield and then triggers the ability, so it doesn't really target a permanent. Yeah, that being said, I think we just take Revoke Existence here. I think I'm more likely to main deck a Revoke Existence if I end up drafting white than actually main decking Caliphate, even if I end up drafting blue-white or some sort of blue deck with multiple bombs. There's just better 3-drops, and double blue is difficult to cast. So let's just take a Revoke Existence here, and hopefully end up with a better, maybe pack 2, pick 1. Okay, I guess we'll take a Mars Grasp here, so I'm happy to first pick this card. There's also Labyrinth of Scovos, which is a much more flexible option. But I think we want to lean as much towards black in this set as much as possible. This land is quite nice. If you do open up the uncommon, the Scovos Maze Warden, and somehow piece these two together, this can be a fine land that can constantly kill something. That being said, 4 mana is still a lot to activate, but you know, usually if you end up with a lot of playables in limited, you don't mind having a land that can act as a spell, and this is quite nice. But I think the higher upside is just a cheaper, efficient removal spell, being Mars Grasp. What are other good cards in this pack? Hero the Nyxborn. Don't sleep on red-white. Red-white might not be the best archetype, and this is a much more grindier control set since there's a lot of escape creatures that keep coming back. But I've seen games where red-white can just totally dominate a game, especially if you pick up multiple Wrapped in Flames to target your heroic creatures and pump your whole team in attack. It can be kind of brutal, especially if you don't have enough blockers. So red-white can be incredibly powerful too in this set, but I'm not going to take over Mars Grasp. Again, we want to lean towards black as much as possible in Theros Beyond Death, given how powerful it is, and black-white's still a really strong archetype, so I think it's just an easy Mars Grasp here, and I would take that over Labyrinth, pack 1, pick 1, since again, we just want to draft black. And this is probably the best common in this set, just 3 mana kill something. Okay, I guess we can take a Rise to Glory now. I mean, I did draft a black-white grind deck in a previous video, but I didn't have the luxury of taking up Rise to Glory, and Rise to Glory is just a powerful, insane 2-for-1, even could be a 3-for-1 too, because if you Rise to Glory Mars Grasp, you kill a creature, and then you also put a creature out on the battlefield, and then again you bring the enchantment from your graveyard to the battlefield, so it can also just be an insane 2-for-1. The more flexible option would be the Careless Celebrant as maybe the second best card out of this pack. maybe we end up black-red sacrifice or white-red go wide heroic, and this is a more flexible option, but it's a lot less exciting than Rise to Glory. Rise to Glory is a lot more powerful card and has a higher potential. Other good commons, Pious Wayfarer. Don't sleep on this card. Multiple copies can be pretty powerful. There's Hero to Pride for the red whites, but outside of red white, I don't like it. Ichthyomorphosis is okay, removal in blue, but given how bad blue is at common, like this isn't even that great of a removal spell. Like the opponent can still load up counters onto the creatures, they can still sacrifice it, they can still chump block it, but it's removal if you need it. And if you're in blue, so I would play it still. And Sun Main Pegasus is also a nice flexible option. But again, Rise to Glory is just too powerful after taking Revoke and Myra's Grass. It has higher upside than either the Careless Celebrant or the Pegasus, but we'll see. Okay, what's in this pack? Nothing exciting. I guess we can take an Omen of the Dead. Although if we do have Rise to Glory, it's gonna get a lot worse. But what else would we take in white-black? Captivating Unicorn, we can hope to wheel later. It's just 5 mana, it's kind of clunky, and better off in a green-white Constellation deck where you're looking to be more aggressive. Black-whites is more mid-range. It can have explosive, aggressive starts, but it's also looking to kind of win in the late game as well at times, and in the mid to late games. So Captivating Unicorn is going to be okay, and I wouldn't mind playing it, but honestly, I don't think it's exciting. Like, what's the best card out of this pack? War Leader as a good 5-drop in the black-red aggressive deck, sacrifice deck, I mean. Yeah, these cards are all okay. I don't even like Stinging Lionfish. The 1 toughness isn't great, but it can be a nuisance sometimes, just tapping things down instant speed. But again, blue's pretty bad. I think I'm just going to take Omen here because it's just cheap. And then we could use a little bit of recursion. Black-white is kind of like a grind deck, so you don't mind just constantly reanimating your creatures with Omen and Rise to Glory and bringing them back. But again, we need some higher quality creatures if we want to make this work, but there's nothing else here in this pack I care about. Let's just take Omen. Ooh, and Reverent Hoplitte. Okay, that's a pretty fun creature to reanimate. And yeah, if it just keeps coming back, it just keeps making tokens, and this is a nice uncommon. We do need to focus more on White Devotion, though, which we still have time in this draft to do so, and it can be pretty powerful. Alternatively, the best common is like Incendiary Oracle, the 3rd best red common in this set. I would rate it Iroh's Blessing as number 1, Omen the Forge number 2, Incendiary Oracle as number 3. It's just better than Underworld Ragehound since it's not forced to attack, and also exiles creatures. So in the late game, you can also pump this up to maybe trade up and maybe disincentivize an attack from like a Voracious Typhon or something. That being said, I think it's a Hoplite here, and we're just going to commit ourselves to black-white. And Helios Pilgrim is nice, can search our Mars Grasp and our future Dreadful Apathies. Seems quite good. Yeah, don't sleep on this card. It's pretty nice, and since we can also sacrifice it if we pick up Soul Reaper or Zamogus. Nothing exciting out of this pack. A Final Flare late is a sign maybe black-red sacrifice is open, but we'll see. And here we can just take a filler Hero of the Pride. Although we won't be enchanting it much, but again, we could have those explosive aggressive starts, and if we pick up Sentinel's Eyes or something, it's nice with the Reverend Hoplite, since if Reverend Hoplite makes tokens, we can kind of pump the whole team. And right now we just don't have any 2-drops, and again, there's nothing exciting out of this pack. There's a Triumphant Surge as situational removal, and we currently don't have any 2-drops. If we do pick up Future Omen of the Suns, it can be pretty nice to go wide, have a bit of a go wide sub-theme in this black-white mid-range Reanimator deck. So let's just take a hero here. Wrapped in Flames is a sign that maybe red-white is open as well. And we can just take a Leonin here as another fine 2-drop. Yeah, I don't mind this card. Even if it's at 1 toughness, if they use Mogi's Favor onto this and it kills the Leonin, we can still exile the Mogi's Favor, and it's just a decent 2-drop on curve. Hopefully we can pick up a Rage Scar Berserker later on, which is a decent curve topper, but for now, just take a Leonin. None of these cards I really like. I don't even think Thaumaturg is playable, even in black-white. There's a Portent if we do end up in red-white, or Escape Velocity. I guess if we still had to abandon black and go into red-white, I don't mind the Escape Velocity with the heroic creatures, and it's just a cheap card. Yeah, I guess I don't hate the Escape Velocity here. Late Skovos War Leader, so I guess like white-red or black-red felt open. I guess black didn't seem to open honestly, in this direction. But um, but again, with Rise to Glory being passed to us and Mars Grasp, it feels like black might just we have to settle for black as our secondary color. But in case we don't, I guess I'll just take the War Leader here in case we somehow end up in red-white. Skull Grove Dancer is okay as well, can trigger Constellation, and also help fuel Escape. So it's kind of versatile as a fine 2-drop. Glimpses, whatever. But okay, I think I like my Pious Wayfarer over the hero, because if we end up in black-white, we could have some Constellation synergies, and it's not like we need like an extra 2-drop here. Like I wouldn't mind a second hero in case we pick up more ways to target it, but we'll take a Pious Wayfarer just to lower the curve, and pretty decent too. And Triumphant Surge, okay, we could even main deck it, but we'll put in the sideboard for now in case we're lacking removal. And yeah, it seems like we're gonna does seem fairly open, and yeah, our black cards are pretty powerful, so we're gonna lean towards black slightly higher than the other 2 cards. But if we open up a busted like blue card or red card or green card in the next pack, we could just move out of it. But for now, white does seem open, and it's a good color. And woo, Woe Strider and Banishing Light, both pretty excellent cards. I'm actually leaning towards Banishing Light more than Woe Strider. Woe Strider is excellent, but we're not going to be an escape deck. And we do have Rise to Glory to still bring things back, so it's not like we really need to escape creatures. Whereas the Banishing Light keeps us more flexible, keeps us in white where we kind of want to be, and definitely better than the Dreadful Apathy, I have to say. Although Dreadful Apathy would be amazing, but I would still probably take Woe Strider over it. Okay, that being said, at what are the great commons? Voracious Typhon, Omen of the Forge. I wouldn't mind Lampad in the black-white deck, since again we have a bit of a token. We can have a bit of a token go wide sub theme. But I mean, Woe Strider can also make a 0/1 goat to sack as well, and helps us go a bit wide. But I still think it's Banishing Light here as premium removal. So yeah, I think it's over Woe Strider in our position. What's the best card? Annex, but it's double red. And it's kind of at odds with our Reverent Hoplitte Devotion. That being said, I don't even like Hero to Wins. 4 mana is too clunky for a heroic creature and a 1/4 that flies. And we're not like going to slap any enchantments that can pump it. There's, I guess the options are Flicker Fate, Lampad, and the Venomous Hierophant, which is decent, but yeah, I guess we have a bit of a graveyard sub theme with Rise to Glory and Omen of the Dead, but I don't think we need to prioritize it too highly. Have we pack one, pick one? Woe Strider, we'd be looking at Annex here. Annex is quite good, but our black cards are still good, and we don't have any reason to move into red other than Annex if we take it, or maybe Scovos War Leader. So we have to take one of the black-white cards, unfortunately, that are a lot lower in power level compared to Annex. And that being said, I think I just want my first copy of Lampad. Again, we could have a token sub-theme with the Reverent Hoplitte, and it's nice to just sacrifice them. Lampad is an overperformer in these Theros Beyond Death drafts in Limited, since black is pretty powerful, and just having 1 mana ability to sacrifice something and drain them can be nice to play around spot removal, and also yeah, you can just close out the game if we're being aggressive enough in the early game, especially in the late game where we can just sack a bunch of stuff and kill them. So this seems good. Ooh, Omen of the Sun and Pious Wayfarer, both pretty excellent too for this type of deck. I think it has to be over Venomous Hierophant or Omen of the Dead here. There's also Iroh's Blessing, so sign that red is open, but I think at this point we are committed to black. White, since Rise to Glory and Mars Grasp are pretty excellent cards, same with the Lampad. So I think we're just going to take the lower power level cards here over the Iroh's Blessing, which is the best card out of this pack. Warbriar's Blessing is also excellent, but we have no reason to be in green. So between these two, which one do I prefer? Pious Wayfarer will lower the curve for us, but it feels like we're more of like, we rather have the token sub-theme currently because it plays well the Hero of the Pride and plays well the Lampad. And plays well with the Reverence, so I'm feeling like the Omen of the Sun gets a nod here over the Pious Wayfarer, which, you know, I'm hoping we can maybe pick up one later, but it's not like we are so hyper-aggressive. We're not really hyper-aggressive in black-white, we're more grindy, and this card fits the archetype better, since we're just trying to chip in as much early game damage as we can in the early game with our 2-in-1 drops, and then drain them out with Lampad in the late game, or go wide enough with the Reverent Hoplitte to kill them. So I feel like Omen the Sun is actually the pick here over Pious Wayfarer, but Pious Wayfarer would probably be my second pick. But let's just take the Omen here. We just want to generate tokens. Okay, I guess with a bit of a Reanimator sub-theme, I don't mind a Funeral Rites as maybe card advantage in the ways to draw 2 extra cards. There's also Indomitable Will, but we're not really a beatdown deck. Some fine red cards. Underworld Rage Hound is a decent escape creature. Best card is probably Wolf Willowhaven here, but it's not even that great, so let's just take a Funeral Rites. Nothing great. Yeah, this pack is a miss. Yeah, the best card is like what? Chain Web Arachneer, Final Flare. I guess if we never pick up any flyers, we'll just take a Wings of Hubris. But white usually is the color that makes a lot of flyers, so yeah, let's just take the Wings. Pretty unexciting pack. Now I do like Sentinel's Eyes a lot, can trigger Constellation, and a fine card to have in the graveyard for escape. We can search it up with Heliod's Pilgrim. Seems great here over the Indomitable Will, so I like it. And between Glory Bearers, Transcendent Envoy, and Rage-Scar Berserker, which one do we want? I don't think we need Transcendent Envoy. It's best in blue-white if we can load up like some enchantments to attack with it. And 2-mana 1/2 is pretty underwhelming on turn 2, so I don't think we want it here. Could just take the Glory Bearers. Since we're more focused on white devotion here, with the Reverent Hoplitte, it's nice to have another white permanent. And also, if we're going to be making tokens and going wide, just having the extra toughness can be kind of decent. So I don't actually hate the Glory Bearers. Rage-Scar Berserker I still don't mind, but it seems like the Glory Bearers has more synergy, can trigger Constellation. The only Constellation payoff, however, currently is the Pious Wayfarer, so it's not that great triggering Constellation in this deck, but it still helps us grow our tokens if we're looking to go wide a bit, and it's still lower on curve than the Rage-Scar. Rage-Scar would also be fine here, but could use a 4-drop. And Daxos is pretty solid in this deck too. If we're going to go wide, we can gain a ton of life. And then if the creature's tokens end up dying, we also gain a lot of life. And the extra white devotion helps with Reverent Hoplitte. So kind of a nice pickup there. So great sign that, again, the white devotion theme is open in this draft. So I like Daxos a lot. Could take a second Lampad to help us close out the game. Alright, so this is also an overperformer I've talked about already, so we don't have to emphasize it anymore. And Flicker of Fate I actually do like as well. Can re-trigger the Omen of the Suns, can help us protect our creatures, can actually flicker the opponent's creature before they put an enchantment onto it as well. There's a lot of versatility with the Flicker of Fate, and it's a 2-mana instant, so it's pretty effective and efficient. I like this card more than the Heroes. Heroes, again, I don't like it that much, unless you can, again, load up a bunch of count enchantments onto it, but 4-mana 1/4 is really clunky. Also not an enchantment for Constellation, so Flicker seems excellent. I'll take a Pious Wayfarer over the Heroes here, just to lower our curve, and yeah, we could just be a black-white like deck that's looking to be more in the aggressive end of the spectrum, where again, we're just trying to get in small points of damage in the early game, and then we can just drain them with the Lampad while stabilizing with the life gain from Daxos or Lampad. So Pious Wayfarer seems to fit the cut. And yeah, that's our game plan. Hopefully we can pick up some flyers to have maybe a plan B alternate angle of attack in this type of deck. But for the most part, we're just going to be very grindy and trying to drain them out. And maybe but it would be nice to have some big flyers to reanimate with Rise or Omen of the Dead. But we'll see. Dreadful Apathy over Commanding Presence has to be the pick here, because we don't really have any flyers to load this onto, and if we put this onto a creature, like, sure, we have ways to generate tokens with the Omen and Sun, but it does 2-for-1 us, and they can just chump the Commanding Presence all day against an opposing tokens deck. So I think the Dreadful Apathy is the pick here as a good removal spell. Pack 1 pick 1 is still probably Dreadful Apathy. This pack just doesn't look exciting. This is one of the worst rares to open, along with the Lotus artifact we opened as well, but we'll take an Apathy here. And it has a nice combo with Flicker of Fates. Second Banishing Light, yeah, it has to be over our Favored Rights. Favored, it's fine. I wouldn't mind playing it in this deck as a nice aggressive 3-drop that can maybe get in for points of damage, but the removal is too important, especially if we need to clear a path and go wide in this type of deck. So Banishing Light has to be the pick here. And we're kind of a grindy deck, so we don't mind being a little bit more controlling than usual. I don't actually hate Lagoon Band Storyteller in this deck. It has nice synergy. It can fetch back an enchantment from the graveyard on top of our library. So what we can do is we can also loop back the Omens. So we can like Rise to Glory Lagona, get back like Dreadful Apathy on the battlefield, and then once the Dreadful Apathies, I mean, yeah, we can Rise to Glory Lagona. Lagona can get back an enchantment. Um, I guess we can Rise to Glory, get back Lagona and Myers Grass. Lagona can get back Myers Grass, so that's a pretty neat combo. I like the synergy of Lagona in this deck. And again, I don't think we're a Commanding Presence deck. We're a very like grindy, like controlling mid-range type of deck that's trying to win the late game while getting in with early points of damage. And I don't think we need Hero that much. How many ways do we have to self-target? Sentinel's Eyes, Flicker. This will be fine, but Lagona has more synergy. And we can take either the Scorn Piper or Leonin here. Mogi's Favor is also pretty awesome. So it's kind of like if we were in a real life draft, this would be a pretty difficult situation. The Discord Piper gives us an extra body to sacrifice, which is pretty nice. Leonin is another decent 2-drop. Mogi's Favor is another nice aura that we can escape along with Sentinel's Eyes, and also pretty decent. So it's a little bit difficult. In terms of creature count, we only have 11, but it's not like any of these 2-drops are exceptional, whereas the Mogi's Favor, we can just constantly get back. And maybe we can even upgrade some of our 2-toughness creatures to trade. Although it's not very good with tokens, unfortunately, but I feel like we can take the Mogi's Favor here. It's a much more unique effect, but I wouldn't fault anyone for taking Piper or Leonin here as well. Ooh, Farika Spawn, that's perfect in a grind deck. Although we're not an escape deck, I think we wouldn't have any trouble getting 3 cards into the graveyard, because usually 3 cards isn't a lot, and not too difficult to get in the graveyard. And yeah, if we can just constantly reanimate and recur Farika Spawn to force the opponent to stack, it's quite nice. And 5/6 is pretty powerful. 4-mana 3/4 is a solid body. This card's going to be better in a black-green or black-red deck where you're looking to kind of self-mill with Venomous Hierophants, but still going to be pretty good in this deck too. This card is just very excellent and a great first pack one pick one. It's like the mythic uncommon of the set. And yeah, we could use a good flyer like the Daybreak Chimera over the Race Guard Berserker. Has nice white devotion synergy with Daxos and Reverent Hoplitte. And we don't have any evasive threats currently, so I feel like the Daybreak Chimera makes the cut here. Mostly a 4 or 2-drop. Now this is interesting. Birth of Meletis is pretty decent on turn 2, can give us a good ground blocker, can help us find a land, gain us some life. I don't actually hate Birth. There's also Nyxborn Cursor, it can also provide white devotion, but it's still a little bit difficult to cast, I have to say. It's a good ground blocker. I feel like this card is better in the Flyers deck as a good ground blocker that can help you stall out while you win with Flyers in the air, and a lot worse in like a go wide sort of deck. I wouldn't mind playing it here, but I still think it's Birth. Birth can just improve our draw steps if we're able to find the planes and make sure we don't miss out on it. And yeah, having a 0/4 wall is fine. It's still not exciting, I have to say, because it's still better in the Flyers deck, but it's a fine way to help us get our land drops. And here, there's Aspect of Lamprey, which is okay, but still kind of clunky on 4. And I think I don't really like this card too much too, because even if they discard 2 cards, you're actually helping them feel Escape, and Escape is pretty powerful in the set. That being said, what do we take? Glory Bearers or Hero? Maybe just another Hero to Pride to lower the curve. And how many ways to target again? Just a Sentinel's Eyes. It's not looking too exciting, but it's still a 2-drop. And we have a lot of 4 ready to hold up the ground, so I think we just take the random 2-drop here. Again, Aspect is alright. I mean, I guess there's another aura we can get to with Rise to Glory, but it's not like we're lacking auras. We have Dreadful Apathy, Mara's Grasp, even Mogi's Favor we don't mind getting back without the Escape, and Sentinel's Eyes. Yeah, and it's not like we have any large creatures to give lifelink to with the Aspect of Lamprey, so it's kind of a mediocre card anyway, so I'll take another Hero. And nothing else in this pack. Ooh, Favorite of Iroas, still late. I don't mind playing this card. So now we have another Constellation Payoff card. And it's quite powerful with the Mogus Favor and the Sentinel's Eyes. So this card looks pretty nice, and we could use a good 3-drop. So happy to see this late. Bots are kind of drunk sometimes. I don't think we're playing 3rd hero. We could even cut to 2nd. Leonin, maybe it's quite nice too. another Glory Bearers. There's also Rumbling Sentry, which I don't even like at all. Just clunky on 5. Guess we'll take a second Glory Bearers and decide if we even want to play it. Transcend Envoy triggers Constellation, but honestly doesn't have any synergy, so I don't think it's making the cut. But this draft looks pretty fun. So I guess this is a guess this is going to be our set part 2 video for our black-white reanimator deck, and we do have a couple of cuts to make. So where we looking to cut, the 5s look great. This is more like a 4 or 3 drop in the deck. I think it's more of a 4 drop because if we play a turn 2 one color single white, we're not going to curve out with Daybreak Chimera on curve, since it's still, I guess we can, if we play this on turn 2, let me guess. I guess this is I guess this still costs 4. Unless we like have explosive starts with Pious Wayfarer into Hero of the Pride, we can curve out with this on turn 3. So it has potential to be on turn 3, but I mostly see it on turn 4. It's because if we do miss our 1 drop, we're more likely to play this on turn 2 and then just play this on turn 4. So I'll count this as a 4 drop. And out of all the 4 drops, I guess 1 Glory Bearers could be cuttable since we have a lot of 4s already. So I can see cutting 1 Glory Bearers. And we already have some good ground blockers on 4, and I'd rather play these. We'll put Banishing Light here. In terms of the three drop departments, yeah, we definitely want to play Dreadful Aptly. We definitely want to play Favorite in this deck. Heliod's is great. Omen Sun is pretty nice too, with a bit of a go wide sub theme. Funeral Rites I actually don't mind since it gives us some card advantage and also helps fuel Freaka Spawn and the Rise to Glory. So I actually don't hate Funeral Rites here. And it's just card advantage. So the 3s actually look pretty solid too. Looking at the 2s, I could see the argument for cutting a Hero of the Pride or Leonin. We could also cut Revoke Existence since we have a lot of removal. Burf is also cuttable. I think Daxos has to stay in the deck, same with the double Lampad, since we have a bit of a token theme to help drain the opponent out. Mars Grasp is obviously staying. So these are actually cuttable. I actually don't hate the doubles Pious Wayfarer and Sentinel's Eyes. Omen of the Dead could also be cuttable. Maybe Mogus Favor. It's nice with Favor. Favorite is another nice aura in this deck that I don't mind. And it's not too difficult to enable the Sentinel's Eyes and Mogus Favor, since Exilling 2 is not really a big deal. So I feel like some of these can just be cut. Like we can, even though we can do cute things with Flicker, with Dreadful Apathy, it's still kind of a situational card. I could also see cutting one of these 2 drops, honestly. We can maybe cut the Leonin, although it's better against escape creatures and has 3 power right away. Hero has some nice synergy with Mogus Favor and Sentinel's Eyes, but other than that, we just don't have too many ways to self-target in this type of deck, so I could see the argument for cutting 1 copy of Hero as opposed to the second Leonin, but I think I'm going to keep the second Leonin to keep the curve kind of low so we can maybe impact the board more early. So let's just say we just cut all 4 of these cards. We dish the Omen. Flicker is kind of cute. Revoke is still kind of situational. We cut the Birth, so I guess we can maybe still run away with maybe 16 lands, since really our curve stops at 4 and a bit of 5. We can always curve out with these on curve, which are 3 drops, maybe, or removal. Again, I like these auras, I like Mars Grasp, I like the Funeral Rites. So we can maybe run away with 16 lands for this type of deck and go something like this. Yeah, I don't hate this plan. Seems pretty solid. And we can slightly favor white, so we can even cut a swamp and throw in an extra plane since we have some double white cards in this type of deck, like Chimera and Daxos that we want to cast early on. So I don't actually hate going 9-7 like this. That being said, what can we still consider in a sideboard? I guess if we go and run 16 lands, Birth of the Miletus gets a lot better. But honestly, I don't even know if this card is that great in this type of deck. Like, sure, it's better in the Flyers deck since we want to be more defensive early on. We want to win Flyers, but I'd rather maybe just have the 2 drops to curve out with, honestly, since they can deal small points of damage, which are more significant. But this card would be pretty decent in 16 land deck as well. So I mean, I could see maybe cutting the Glory Bearers. Like, sure, we make tokens, but does it even really matter? Honestly, I'd rather just have the Birth to maybe improve my draw step. I mean, it's another nice ground attacker, honestly, on turn 4, so I don't actually hate Glory Bearers over the Birth. There's Omen of the Dead as more recursion and reanimation. What cards are we interested in reanimating? and getting back to our hand, which can be really nice. I guess Reverent Hoplitte can be nice. The Flyer, Free Spawn has built-in recursion. I guess Laguna Band Storyteller is a nice card to recur. Maybe Favored. Maybe another Lampad. So the Omen could have some nice utility. So it's going to be really hard to determine in last cut. Triumph Surge, no. Rumbling Sentry, no. Not Second Glory Bearers. I guess there was the argument with Birth. And then Revoke is another nice removal spell, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4 removal spells already, so I don't know if we need a fifth removal spell. And this is still kind of situational, since it can't really target non-artifact enchantments, but it's definitely main deckable in this set, I can see. And again, the second hero, we don't really need that much, even though, yeah, we don't have too many ways to self-target other than one Sentinel's Eyes and Mogis Favor, so one is okay. And the Mice Wayfarers anyways are just going to pump our creatures anyways. It's nice to have Mogis Favor on this Pious Wayfarer and Sentinel's Eyes on too, so that's kind of fun. And Flicker, again, more cute and fancy. We don't really... It has some cute utility, but I think we have enough, like... I think we don't need to be cute and fancy here. We can just play all of our enchantments and just use them right away, so I guess we don't really need the Flicker. And yeah, Birth is kind of weird on turn 2. Like, sure, it's nice in a 16-land deck, but still, we'd rather just curve out our 2-drops. Omen, I can actually see the argument for throwing in, so we could even cut the Glory Bearers for it. Because it's not like we need a 3-4, like, it's kind of clunky on 4, and we can still, like, Omen to recur some of our other cards here. And, yeah, we have some decent attackers on turn 4 with Laguna, Frika Spawn, Daybreak Chimera. So I can see cutting the Glory Bearers, because it's kind of clunky on 4. And with a 16-land deck, we just want to keep the curve even lower. So this seems a lot better. 9-7 like this seems decent. Omen is kind of weird in the early game, but keep in mind, it has some neat utilities, especially getting back Reverent Hoplitte, getting back Laguna, getting back a Flyer that we could use, getting back Favorite of Iros potentially, or a Lampad that can help us close out the late game. So Omen does seem pretty nice, and can also scry in the late game, so that's decent. Sentinel's Eyes, again, we like Sentinel's Eyes, especially with Double Pious. Mogis could actually be cuttable still, maybe. I like the removal. The card draw, yeah, we just don't have too much card draw. Like Rise is maybe some value, same with Omen, but it's nice to just draw 2, mill 2 to help fuel Escape, help fuel Omen, and the Rise to Glory. So I don't actually hate the Funeral Rites in this type of deck. Hate is a strong word, of course. Why am I saying it? I could actually see throwing Flicker over Mogis Favor if I'm not too insane. Like, what combos we have with it. Laguna is pretty sweet. Reverent Hoplite is pretty sweet with the Flicker. Same with Omen of the Dead, Omen of the Sun. Same with Omen of the Dead. Same with Sentinel's Eyes. Same with Dreadful Apathy. So I guess we can have kind of like the cute effect of Flicker over the Mogis Favor. So it's arguably maybe slightly better. Like, Mogis Favor on the Pious Wafer is pretty cool, don't get me wrong, but it still maybe ends up trading, because losing that 1 toughness isn't that great. And we can use less escape cards, since it does eat up cards for Freakish Spawn and maybe Sentinel's Eyes, and Sentinel's Eyes I feel is just a lot more consistent. That being said, this does punish 1 toughness quite nicely in decks. But Flicker is pretty awesome too, I have to say. So I guess we can run something like this. Yeah, and I think we might need a card draw even in the 16-land deck, so I don't think I want to ditch Funeral Rites for Mogis Favor. Like, honestly, these are like the only 2 cards I think are actually cuttable from the deck and replaceable for Mogis Favor, or another Revoke Existence. I think I like those 2 over the rest of the other cards here. So one can make an argument, like, maybe someone who's better at analyzing Limited than me can make the case for the Mogis Favor, but I think, again, even in 60 lands, we want some value with the card draw from Funeral Rites, Omen, and Rise, and then the Flicker seems to have, again, a lot more higher upside than the Mogis Favor, because, again, we can still flicker some of our powerful enchantments and creatures. So I think we'll run it like this and see how it goes. So, yeah, let's try it again. It's more like number 2, but I'll just call it part 2. Because we keep drafting the same archetypes somehow. Imagine a real life paper pot, it would be pretty hard to analyze picks, but on the arena we have time to kind of look over all of our cards. But imagine having to remember all of our cards, so that's why paper draft is a lot more challenging, because you don't have time to look at all of your picks and analyze really close decision making. But luckily, on the computer we do have enough time. So yeah, hopefully this deck can go the distance. I can definitely see getting 7 wins. Is this like a 3-minute wait time? I've never went past 2 minutes here. It's usually the 2-minute mark where like the game either accidentally like crash and disconnect and make us re-queue, or we actually find an opponent. Okay. I mean, not a good early game, but we do have turn 4 Freaka spawn. Lagona is not going to be exciting. Huh. I mean, there's potential. We can maybe find a 2-drop. We don't have double white, but I still think we're keeping. It's not the best, but not the worst. Obviously pretty bad in the early, but we do have Banishing Light to answer maybe a problematic creature in the early game, like Chimera or the Underworld Ragehound, but we'll see. Okay, we want to play Plains first, because there's a chance we can top deck Daxos, and we want the double white, so we have to keep that in mind. Hoping he doesn't have a permanent solution to Freaka spawn. Okay, a 1-drop. Not bad. So Sandal's Eyes on turn 2 would have been pretty nice. Mogus Favor can maybe attack in for 4, which would have been great, but again, I feel like the Flicker has a lot more potential. Sage, okay, he's trying to self-mill us. I don't really agree with that plan in this set, but if he wants to try so, be my guess. And I don't really feel the need to, honestly, Banishing like this next turn, because, honestly, it's not really threatening, and we can just drop Freaka spawn constantly to, come back. I don't think he can mill us fast in time. Milling 2 is not really fast, and, it's also, it's pretty slow, and it's also beneficial for us. This is not a set where you want to mill the opponents, and I've said this multiple times, but some people still don't, realize it. But I mean, this is bot draft, so people do weird things. So I don't really want to Lagona ban. I don't have any enchantments and auras to get back, and him self-milling us isn't actually that bad, because again, we can Lagona and get things back. If he wins with the stars, I guess we can Banishing like the one to the stars, and still get the Freaka spawn out. So I don't mind just using it next turn. And if even if he kills it, we can still get back. So this is nice. And I just want to Myers Grouse the 2/3 because it's really annoying. And then we can always get back the Auralist attack for 3. We can also just get back the Mars Grass and kill the 0/2 if we're afraid they're just going to mill us out. but it's going to be a little bit too slow. Okay, this could just be the deck that can mill us out, so we should be careful here. Yeah, second stage, so we kind of have to be careful in this circumstance. He can cast this to mill us again. I can always... What I can do is I can always like sack the Freaka spawn end of turn and then re-escape it. So I think I'm just going to do that. I'm going to cast a Lampad here. I can also just put an enchantment on top, just for the hell of it. Although I do want to stack this one too. I guess we have 7 mana to escape this anyways next turn. So I think I'm going to just put a creep card on top of my library and just to develop the board state. So yeah, we'll just put Mara's Grasp on top so we have the extra card if he decides to mill us. And again, we'll just attack for 3. And I think we should be able to kill him here. Hierophant, self-milling, okay. Am I fine attacking fall? I guess I can just Mara's Grasp the 3/3. We can always sacrifice Freaka spawn. I think I don't mind Mara's Grasping the 3/3, so then I can just attack. And I can always Sentinel's Eyes the Lampad as well to get in for a ton of damage and maybe force him to chump. Just want to get as much damage, and end of turn we can still sack Freaka spawn, re-escape it, or attack next turn and re-escape it, so we can eventually just close out the game. I don't think he can mill us in time. 17 is a lot of cards. And this, again, this is not a set where you want to self-mill people that can escape things. It's a pretty cute strategy, but it's still a lot of work. So, next turn he's forced to chump. He can escape this, but I don't think he can mill us in time. He would need a 2-mana play here. Yeah, more cute than actually useful. I don't understand this. I guess he might want to... Okay, I guess he just wants to get mill me even more. Okay, that's fine. We'll just attack with Vol next turn. And then just, yeah, this is lethal, so he has to attack. I mean, he has to block. Banishing Light, what does that do? So what we can do is, I guess we can Banishing Light maybe the Sage of Mysteries. If we attack with Vol, he chumps 1, he takes 5, we just drain him and he's just dead. So yeah, I think we just go for that game plan. Let's not overcomplicate things. Yeah, it's just, the mill strategy just, I mean, you can sometimes get there, but it's not recommended. I mean, even in a heavily devoted mill deck, like, again, we can just constantly reanimate Freaka spawn, force him to sack his Sage of Mysteries, and slow down his mill plan, but it's kind of like a very, very terrible strategy in this set. And you also need the mill cards to get going early on, to like the double Sage to really get lucky and mill the opponent out. But again, you're just helping them feel escape, you're just helping them reanimate things. And again, milling 2 per turn when you play a constant. I mean, milling 2 when you play when you're playing an enchantment is really still pretty slow. Like if it was mill 3, I'd be a lot more scared, but like mill 2 isn't enough. And this is a good opening hand. We can lead with maybe Leonin, start pressuring him, and then maybe drain him out with Lampad in the late game. And we're just climbing ranks here, 23. That's pretty insane. I don't usually like to bully people in bot drafts, but we have 5k gold, so I do want to just spend it. Next turn we can just Pilgrim. Do I want to trade here? I actually don't mind. 3 damage is a lot, and this trade is pretty decent too. And if he wants to take 3, that is a lot. So I just want to get maybe the Heliod's Pilgrim out and maybe get a removal spell like Vanishing Light. I don't really see a reason to get anything else. The removal is just important. Or I guess either Mara's Grasp or Dreadful Apathy. Dreadful Apathy is better against whatchamacallit, Voracious Typhon, which he could have. Mara's Grasp just answer things right away. I think I like the Apathy more. It's more consistent, can answer bigger threats. Of course, they could have a sack outlet, but it just answers Voracious Typhon on 4. Mara's Grasp is a lot more efficient, but we can still... That can answer the 2-2, but we don't care about trading here, honestly. This just answers the escape creatures better. I guess Mars Grass would have been better against the Nessian Horn Beetle, but this is still fine. Land would have been great, but I guess I don't mind trading here or keeping this back. I mean, he's most likely going to trade, and then what would I do? I guess I can Omen and get it back. I can Apathy to 2/2. Lots of options here. I think I'm fine trading. We can use we can also use we can also just use Dreadful Apathy now. We can Omen it dead, get back the Leonin and replay it. Lots of options. We can also just be a little bit crazy, and what we can do is we can Omen it, wait till we play Lagona Band Storyteller and Omen it, but we still have Rise to Glory to get back. So what can I do here? I feel more inclined to just maybe play out the Lampad, perhaps. Maybe sub some sort of double block or Apathy to 3/3. There's lots of options. Yeah, let's just get back the Leonin. It's pretty nice at attacking. And if Leonin does die, we can still exile an escape creature. It feels more mana efficient doing this. Like, I could Lampad still and maybe save Omen for that. Maybe that was a better plan, but attacking for 3 is nice if he doesn't have anything to grow Beetle. And if he does, we can still Dreadful Apathy, which is quite decent as well. Hierophant, okay. Okay, there's a Chimera that I don't mind exiling, so I don't actually mind attacking here, because if he does trade, I can just exile the Loathsome Chimera, which is pretty nice. Oh, and we can just play out Freaka Spawn, that's not bad. Let's just attack for 3 here then, play out Freaka Spawn. If he trades here, it's also nice, since I'll be able to exile the Loathsome Chimera, which is not what he wants. So we get to free roll him for 3, then play out Freaka Spawn here. Hopefully he doesn't have Final Death to answer Freaka Spawn. So we're definitely ahead here. He just needs one more card to exile Loathsome Chimera to grow the Beetle. But what we can do is we can also play Lampad and sack the Leonin next turn to prevent him from escaping this. I also don't want to block here and trade, because he can just escape it immediately next turn. So we just want to exile this before he gets value. So what we want to do is maybe free roll him with Leonin next turn, sacrifice it, and then sacrifice Leonin to escape Loathsome Chimera, and we'd be in good shape. So if he attacks with 3/3, I'm just going to take it here. Okay. I mean, yeah, that's fine. So this card's going to be a little bit more annoying, but I still think we try to do the play next turn. Guess he gets in for 5. I mean, if he wants to kill... I mean, I don't understand this. If he wants to kill this is okay. The question is, what do I want to exile? Mogi's Favor, it's still kind of bad, because he can just escape it and grow the... Chimera and grow the Beetle, but it's still bad either way. With Loathsome Chimera, he gets to grow the Beetle and have a creature, so that's even worse. So I think we just get rid of Chimera here. And I think he's planning to load the Mogi's Favor onto the 3/2 Death Touch. Here we're just going to take 5. We could chump, but it doesn't really accomplish anything, so we'll just chump and say go. We'll just take it and say go. Can play another Leonin. He's going to Mogi's Favor the 3/4. I think I'm fine with that. I can also just play Leonin and sack it the turn afterwards. I can Dreadful Apathy the 3/4. Lots of interesting options. I don't mind just playing both of these creatures out, and then if he tries a Mogi's Favor on the 3/5 to grow this, I can still double block it and then kill it with the Mogi's Favor on it, or I can still use the 3/1 to hold off the 3/3. And I think I'm going to keep the Healet's Pilgrim back, so I can potentially do a double block against him. So we'll just say go, and I'm fine taking 3 again if he swings back. Just kind of grind them out, which is what this deck is trying to do. We have removal, Rise to Glory to get back to Dreadful Apathy, lots of ways to recur our auras and threats. Freaka Spawn can eventually come back once we get 2 in the graveyard. Is he going to Mogi's Favor this? I don't mind, because I will be able to exile his Favor then. He's sure he gets in for 5. I guess I can still double block the Nessian Horn Beetle if he wants to. Yeah, I think he was... Yeah, this is a good sign, so he doesn't have any cards in the graveyard to escape for his Typhons. I think I'm still double blocking the 2/2. I'm fine taking 3, and we can always apathy this next turn. So we're in a good spot. This is very nice. And it's nice having Rise and Lagona to get back our auras as well. And now we have 5 mana. Rise to Glory doesn't really accomplish anything. Lagona doesn't accomplish anything. I think we just apathy the 3/5 and then stay back and say go. Yeah, so yeah, again, this deck is not hyper aggressive. It does want good early game to pressure and deal some damage to the opponent, but we're also just trying to win the late game with value. Could see a Return of Nature here. Okay, Mystic Repeal. Alright, that makes things a lot worse. So maybe we're forced to chump and sack to stay alive, but we also lose the extra blocker. Taking 3 now isn't the worst still, so I think I'm still fine with taking 3. We can also still sack. I guess we can still block the 2/2, and if we top deck a land, we might want to just enemy. That's problematic too. So we're forced to discard. So we're most likely going to discard the Lagona Band Storyteller. So I think I'm fine chumping and sacking, because if that does occur, I can just if I top deck a land, I can play it, escape Freaka Spawn, force him to sack, and I do want another creature in the graveyard. And if I Rise to Glory, it's not going to do much here. So I think I'm just going to chump and sack here, as opposed to keeping the Heliod's Pilgrim. It just doesn't accomplish anything at this stage in the game. And land will also, I wouldn't mind to escape Freaka Spawn, so we'll just try this approach. Play land, escape Freaka Spawn, and then we don't mind discarding the Lagona Band Storyteller. Maybe. Yeah, we don't mind discarding the Lagona Band Storyteller, because we can just get back with Rise to Glory. Although I won't get full value with the Rise to Glory, because I would love to have an aura to escape, but to get back, but we don't have the luxury sometimes in these limited games, so. Okay, so he's going to have a 4/4. Okay, this is problematic. I don't mind trading for the Venomous Hierophant as well, because I can just re-escape Freaka Spawn eventually as well. The 4 power in the air is problematic. But if he's just going to make me discard and I have to constantly escape, I can just keep sacrificing Freaka Spawn and reanimating it, so it seems okay. Sentinel's Eyes is a card I don't mind escaping. I think we need to attack for 5, right? Because he's going to clock us for 4 per turn. What does Rise to Glory get back? I guess Rise to Glory can get back Lagona and the potential Sentinel's Eyes that we end up discarding. So I don't think we discard the Sentinel's Eyes here. I think we're fine maybe attacking for 5, or keeping this back to sack it next turn. Lots of interesting options. I guess I don't mind sacrificing the Lampad and then just escaping the Freaka Spawn. 5 is a lot. Let's get in there. We can't afford to stay back. And then we'll chump and sack the Lampad. So then if he makes me discard the Sentinel's Eyes, I can maybe recur Freaka Spawn again, forcing him to sack the Venomous Hierophant instead, so this seems okay. I guess I can also just sacrifice the Omen of the Dead end of turn, so we'll see. Yeah, I guess I can get value, just sack the Lampad, maybe sack Freaka Spawn. If I take 7, this is a lot of damage, so I think I'm forced to do some sacking here. He's just going to attack for 4. Okay, Brave Soul. So I could still sack Freaka Spawn end of turn and sack the Omen, and then escape Freaka Spawn to make him lose his guy, but now I'm forced to chump, I feel like, so. So what we want to do is we want to move the blocks, and then before damage we want to sack the Omen to get some scry value and see what's up. Banishing Light is a nice answer. I don't hate the favorite. It can hit a lot. It can get in for a lot with Sentinel's Eye, so I think I'm going to keep all these both on top. Now with Banishing Light on the top, I don't really feel inclined to escape Freaka Spawn though. So we can attack in for 5, exile the Enemy of Enlightenment. Yeah, we'll just stack like this, take 4, drain the opponent. And what we can do is we can Banishing Light, taking out the enemy of Enlightenment. I guess we'll be at 6, but 3 is a lot, and 3 is really hard to get going, so I think we like the Banishing Light here. Exile the 4/4, and unless he has a pump trick, I can't really think of much. So do I even want to escape Sentinel's Eyes? Not really, I just want to attack for 5 here. So he really needs a clutch answer to get in for the extra 3 or put up another blocker. And I'm totally fine with this attack. Yeah, he probably has another blocker if he's attacking here. Hopefully not another enemy. That's an okay card. So let's think here. I could just Rise to Glory the Lampad. I guess I can play Sentinel's Eyes, give this Vigilance. Maybe that's even better. I guess I can Rise to Glory, get back Lagona and the Omen of the Dead, so that seems great. And I can still maybe block the 3/5 and gain us a bit of life. I think I like that. Yeah, let's return Lagona, right? Or Lampad. No, Lagona seems better. What does Lampad do for us? It gives us a chump outlet. Huh. Let's think. The enchantment we want to put back on the top is Omen of the Dead. Yeah, I think Lagona makes sense. And then I guess we bring back the Sentinel's Eyes anyway, so not sure. Maybe the Lampad's correct, but this just has more value. And then we'll just bring back maybe Lampad on top, gain 2. And then we can still attack for 6, force a chump. And then we can still block the 3/5, sack it. Yeah, so now we can still we don't have enough to escape Freaka Spawn though, so but taking 3 could still be a problem. I mean, I guess we can still escape Freaka Spawn next turn, and I mean, he's just dead, right? Because if I play Lampad, he's dead, so I don't want to take any unnecessary risk, so it feels like I should just trade for the 3/5 this turn. Next turn, play Lampad and kill him. Yeah, he's just dead here, right? Yeah, and I can still take 3 because now I know he has nothing. Yeah, we'll just take 3. And then I'll just play Lampad and drain him out, so yeah, this is just game over. Lampad is a nice finisher. This card is an excellent common in black. Don't sleep on it. Like, you definitely take better black playables, but yeah, just having a nice 1 mana, like, instant speed, generic sack outlet is very important in this set to not only play around escape, but help win you the late game, and also gain you some value when they use their removal. So, yep. Alright, 2 wins. Let's keep going. Let's get to 7. This deck is pretty powerful. Lots of removal, lots of ways to close out. What's our glaring weakness? I guess like Dream Trawler, Kiora Best to Sea God, obviously. Dream Trawler will probably be the most backbreaking because they can just gain a ton of life, gain a bunch of cards, and I won't be able to drain them out. Must be scary facing against a rank 50 mythic, but yeah, you don't want to overvalue these mythic rankings. Like it does mean us a little bit, but not too much. Because again, it's still early in the month. We're gonna leave it plain so we can maybe drop Daxos eventually. But I think we're still curving out with Leonin for sure. Although Leonin doesn't line up well against the 1/2. But next turn we can still Pious Wayfarer, Lampad, trigger Constellation on the Leonin. So I think it's fine just playing the Leonin out here. He's most likely going to trade for this, but we're going to play Pious and Lampad to pump it into a 4/2, make it much more difficult for him to block. Birth of Meletus, okay, but at least this can become 4 power if we can trigger Constellation with it. So it looks like a blue-white Staggering Insight deck that's looking to stall the ground out while winning in the air with life gain and flyers. But this turn we're just going to play out Pious Wayfarer, play out Lampad, trigger Constellation, attack for 4. And hopefully he doesn't have Staggering Insight on the flyer to gain a ton of life. So we just want to get in as much damage as we can before he assembles his combo. And the Favorite is pretty powerful. So I can take the turn off and play Favorite, and I think I will since it's a more mana efficient play. And not even attack since this Leonin can't even attack past the 0/4. He could have a counter spell, of course, but I'm not playing around it. And we'll just say go. So he's splashing for green, so maybe he could have Uro, I mean. Yeah, and Thirst for Meaning, maybe he can try to find his mythic bomb that he pack one, pick one. That's usually the case if you're drafting blue in this set. Blue is pretty bad if you, unless you open up a busted rare or mythic, like Kior, Best to See God, Dreamtrawler, Ashiok, because most of the commons are pretty bad outside of card draw spells that can fetch for them. You don't have any great escape creatures, no great spells to escape. Glimpse of Freedom is very medium, and it's just not good. I think we want to take the turn off and just play Reverent Hoplitte because it's just on curve. He could counter it, of course, but so be it. We just want to take advantage of this as much as possible, and next turn hopefully we can go wide and then just go for like an insane attack once we trigger Constellation. There's only 2 board wipes in this set. There is Shatter the Sky and the whatchamacallit, Shatter the Sky and that's a good one, but I still think I'm banishing Lighting it, and then yeah, we can trigger Constellation twice this turn, so that's quite nice. Yeah, this is insane, so we want to do it here. And what do we want to pump? I guess if I pump the 4/1, the 4, it can attack past the 0/4. The Favorite is obviously going to attack. He doesn't have any good blocks there. Yeah, let's just pump here. And then I think we can, what we can do is we can also play out the Lampad this turn, get a little bit greedy, and then what do we pump here? So he's most likely going to chump the Favorite if we pump it here, so we don't want to pump it here. I think we want to maybe pump the Pious. We do have a second Lampad, so we don't care. We triple block and kill it. So I think we pump the Pious Wayfarer because he will lose 2 tokens we blocks, and we just want to go all in here. Like, he eats a token, we don't care. We trade 2 tokens. He maybe blocks the 4/1. Okay, this is fine. He's still taking a lot of damage on the crackback, but we're pretty far ahead here. So we can eventually just drain him out. Yeah, 9. We'll eventually just drain him out since we can go wide, and if we can chip in those extra points of damage and he doesn't have any insane blockers, we should be in good shape. Hero's okay. Haven't seen Dreamtrawler yet? Yeah, he's just dead. Opponent is pretty scared here. So it's a pretty weird deck, splashing for weird cards. I guess he was green-white base, splashing like double blue for Dreamtrawler. It seems like it, because you wouldn't want to splash for a Hero of the game, Hero of the Pride. Or did he I guess he didn't play any green cards, so that's pretty interesting. So maybe he was splashing green. It was our Uro or Dreamtrawler. I can't imagine like why you would go 3 colors and be bent other than those, unless you're just trying to splash for Utopia maybe. But it was still his cards were still pretty underwhelming. Okay, Daxos, but we're not going to cast him on 2, but we still have Lampad and Favored. I would love to keep my enchantments for Favored, but I still think we need to kind of curve out with this deck. And yeah, Daxos into Favored seems pretty awesome. Although, again, I would like to sandbag enchantments for Favored of Iroas. Actually, we can play the Leonin instead, so never mind. Let's greet our opponents. Play the Leonin instead, because we want to save the enchantments to trigger from Iroas. I don't really care about getting the extra life from Daxos early on. Just having a 3/1 that can maybe sneak an attack if he doesn't have any playables is quite powerful, so. Nexus Warden, well, that's going to hold us off. Okay, I guess we'll just play out the Favorite here, and then next turn maybe start giving this double strike and attacking. And which one do I play first? Although Daxos is more constricted with white mana, we should have enough mana to do everything. So I think I might want to keep up a Lampad sacrifice. Could Banishing Light here. So let's see, if we Daxos, what happens? This gains double strike. Even if he double blocks it, we can still kill the Leonin, and this doesn't do anything. So, what now? The Lampad can give us some sack value if he tries to kill something. So I think this turn we just play Swamp and just play Lampad. I don't really see the need of actually using a removal spell here. Like, this is annoying, actually, so maybe I should. But we can still attack pretty nicely with the Favored. And if he has a trick, we'll just sack it in response. Not sure if this is correct, because I could just Banishing like this, because he can just gain a ton of life. And this is probably just a target I don't mind Banishing Light later, but this is 4 damage here, so I don't know. Maybe it's better. I'm thinking maybe we can go wide first before we Banishing Light, but I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong here, because this gains some life and I just want to deal some damage, so maybe I should Banishing like this, or Dreadful Apathy, but Banishing Light feels better so he doesn't get the life gain triggers. But we can always step next turn, we can Daxos into a removal spell. Okay. So if we give this double strike, he can now triple block and kill it. If we get rid of the Nexus Wardens, then Heliod's Pilgrim is interesting as well. I think I just want Banishing like this right away, because again, I can't have him gaining life, especially with a Lampad on the battlefield. So I think it's fine Banishing Lights, and we do want to keep up double white in case to play Daxos the following turn. So let's just Banishing Light here. Target the Nexus Wardens. And the question is, are we fine attacking the Leonin as well? I think I am, given the board state. And then if he wants to trade for Leon, we still get him for 4. So it seems decent. Could have a Flicker of Fate here, okay. Sure, so now the attack for the Favored is not looking that great. I mean, if he double blocks it, triple blocks it, I still kill the Leonin and the hero of the games, and I still have removal for this the following turn. So I think we're fine still attacking for 2 here. And maybe if he triple blocks, I'll just kill the 3-1 and the 2-2, but yep. Seems fine. And I think I'll just play Daxos here too, because we do have Heliod to find something, and just having Daxos on board gives us maybe an extra ground blocker or something. So we'll see. Okay, that's okay, but again, so if he attacks, I can just trade here, but I guess I'd rather have this back to trade for the 4-3. I'm fine double blocking this, honestly, but he's probably not going to attack. It doesn't seem like it's good. Okay, so what does it look like? I guess Heliod's Pilgrim and the Mars Graphs seem very good here, since I can take out the 4-3 and get a nice attack for the Favored. Whereas if I Dreadful Apathy the 1-4, this still stays at the 2-2, so I think this is the correct option. And it's kind of funny in his green-white beatdown deck that there is no... I could have gotten the Sentinel's Eyes too, but Mars Grasp just seems really nice here. We're going to Mars Grasp this. He could have Karametra's Blessing, but it'll still die end of turn, even if he pumps his guy. Trigger Constellation. And I think we're just going to play land to have the sack activation up, move to combat. I don't think we're attacking with Daxos. Like, if we attack with it, he can triple block. We only kill a 2-2. So we just attack with the Favored here. And if he triple blocks, I'm fine. Again, just... I guess if he wants to trade this, this is nice. I guess he has Karametra's Blessing. Okay. So, does it kill it? Not really. So we just want to sack the Favored in response. Get some value, drain the opponent. And hopefully we can kill this ASAP before he gains a ton of life. And we can just kill him. Because, like, our biggest weakness, like, now that I realize it is mostly life gain. We don't want him gaining a ton of life. And we just want to, like, drain him out, in a sense. So I feel like we just play the Dreadful Apathy on the 1-4 as opposed to the 3-3. And do I want to attack him for 3? Not really, because he can just trade here. I think we just want to say go. I guess I just want to activate the Apathy in case he has something to respond end of turn if I try to exile it. So let's just exile it now so he doesn't gain a ton of life. And maybe we can kind of cheese him out by draining him with the Lampads. He doesn't seem to have any creatures, so okay. Another land. Do I attack with the 3/1? I do lose White Devotion for Daxos. Does that matter? I think I just play on another Lampad and say go. I don't know. Maybe I could have played something else. And like maybe if I had a Pious Wayfarer, it would have been better to keep the enchantment creature, but we just don't want him gaining life here. If he makes large creatures, we can still maybe find ways to generate tokens and chump in the late game. But right now, it is a board stall. And we want to stack Daxos here just to, so he doesn't exile it. We can still trade. It's like the 1/2 blocks the 3/1 efficiently. We can still double block the 2/2. So he doesn't have any good attacks. Freaka Spawn is great. And yeah, we do want to keep up the Lampad activation, so then we can sacrifice it. I think I'll just play out land because I don't mind having 3 sacrifice activations. In case he is to like play like a board wipe, like Shatter the Sky. I just want to get value. And I can always just attack with Freaka Spawn next turn and escape it, so yeah, I think we'll just roll in for 3. Reverent Hoplitte is appealing though. But I think I want to get him with Freaka Spawn. I guess if I attack with Freaka Spawn, he can exile it. Huh. So that's a problem. So in that case, I guess I'm fine just attacking the Leonin and Freaka Spawn. And no, I think I might want the extra token. Maybe it's fine attacking with the Freaka Spawn, and if he tries to double block it, we just sack it. Or maybe we just play Reverent Hoplitte, which seems a lot better. Nah, let's just do that. And then we can maybe go wide for gold and do an all-out attack, perhaps, and get him there. Elspeth, okay, but we can still sack in response. And that's not too bad, because we can just escape Freaka Spawn the following turn, so we'll just respond by sacking. The question is, do we even want to attack next turn? Yeah, the Lampads are so powerful, they're just forcing the opponent to sack things constantly. I mean, yeah, it just forces him to, like, we're just gaining value with the Lampad, so we're just going to win the long game eventually. So I think maybe we can go for an all-out attack next turn, but first we want to play Freaka Spawn, I think. Play land, play Freaka Spawn, force him to sacrifice. And we want to keep maybe, it doesn't matter, he'll exile Daxos anyways in one of our auras. So we just want to do this. Force him to sack, and then we can do an all-out attack. Even if he trades for 1 Lampad, we still have the second one, and he can't really kill both of these, so that's nice, but we'll just sacrifice Freaka Spawn again, and the trigger's still on the stack. So even if he tries to target Freaka Spawn, we can sacrifice it again. And he still has to sacrifice something else because the trigger's on a stack, so we're gonna sacrifice Freaka Spawn, drain him. So Lampad is pretty powerful. I guess yeah, that's a neat trick. He can do that instead. But we can now go for an all-out attack and sacrifice something, and I think I'm fine with this because he's at 10 life, and we can stack whatever token that he wants to block that he think he can kill. Okay, this is totally fine. Now we can just stack one of them, and which one do we want in the graveyard? Doesn't really matter. I guess the Hoplite in case we pick up Omen the Dead, and we can just play the Omen. But yeah, he's taking a little bit too much here, and we got him. Pretty cool effect with the Flicker, but I would never main deck double Flicker. The problem is that Flicker is a good effect to have 1 copy of, typically speaking, because you do want to have creatures and bodies, because that's usually how you win games of limited, with good creatures and bodies attacking and constantly blocking. So yep, there we have it. Nice 4-0. Let's keep this up. Alright, let's keep this up. 4-0. This is pretty insane. Rank 13 Mythic. I swear if I lose 1 game, it's going to move me down 10 ranks. But so be it. We'll see. But my rank should be a lot lower. I mean, higher, but I don't know. It's going to be higher. I mean, lower in a couple of days because it's still early. This is a terrible hand. We need white mana, so no keep. We're functioning pretty well with 16 lands, and now, yeah, we can ditch a land here. We can lead with Pious Wayfarer, then play Daxos, pump it, attack for 2, getting that early points of damage. Do need white mana, but strangely enough, yeah, this is fine. Moss Viper is annoying. I guess I don't mind just attacking, and then we can play Leonin instead. Or if I play Daxos here, it does prompt him to trade, which I think I'm fine with. Although, if I play Leonin, this could hit harder if he decides to trade, so I think we just attack for 1, and then play Leonin. Yeah, this is fine. And I don't actually mind this trade because now Leonin can hit harder instead of playing Daxos. Like, there's an argument of playing Daxos pre-combat to pump the Pious Wayfarer to make him incentivize to trade more, but he can just keep the Moss Viper to fight Daxos the following turn. Mars Grasp can be nice against this. Sentinel's Eyes as well, but we don't have Mars Grasp. I think we're just attacking for 3 here. Sentinel's Eyes does incentivize him to trade more, and yeah, this is fine. We'll definitely get rid of this Destiny Spinner, so no reason to have play Daxos other than gaining 1 life. So we'll just play Daxos, play lands, and then we don't want to play Sentinel's Eyes, so in case he plays like a 3 toughness creature, we can maybe surprise him with Sentinel's Eyes and attack for 3 as opposed to 2, so this is fine. And then now we can play Sentinel's Eyes and attack past him. And still block it the following turn. I'm not sure if I want to block it though, because we're still gaining life from Daxos. And if we play Dreadful Apathy onto something, this will be 5 toughness, so I guess we're more incentivized to block there. Well, that's a good answer to Daxos, okay. Pretty nice card off the top. And I would like to Mars Grasp this and save the Apathy for something later. Can I have black mana, please? This could be pretty annoying if he's milling me. Although I don't mind him milling me, but he could mill some swamps, which could be pretty crucial. But I think this turn we do need to maybe cast a Dreadful Apathy here and maybe put it onto the Nyx Herald to prevent damage. Like, do I really mind him milling me? Him milling my swamps would be kind of brutal. I guess I want to set up the Dreadful Apathy this turn, so then next turn, if I get to 5 mana, I can Flicker of Fate and do the whole combo. So I think we just prevent as much damage as possible, and hoping I can eventually get a swamp. Okay, he might have Uro, so he might be playing this to Stealth Mill. I'm hoping he doesn't mill a Black Source, because again, I do need answers to this Forerunner. So please don't mill my Black Source. No swamps, please. Ooh, Stealth Mill, so he has Uro. I feel like it's Uro, so we can Vanishing Light. Still, I don't think we need to do anything here, honestly. We can just exile the Nyx Herald end of turn. And I don't really feel inclined of Vanishing Lighting a 2-1, so we'll just pass the turn, and hopefully we eventually get our Black Source. I think he has Uro in his deck, so we want to be careful here. I don't even want to exile this, because again, on turn 5, we can just do the whole Flicker of Fate thing, where we exile and trigger on the stack, we can flicker it and move it around, so I might just be inclined to Banishing Lighting the Nihilia's Forerunner. And now we find Mars Grasp, which is great. And yeah, no reason to use Banishing Light here. Just gonna Mars Grasp this 3/5/3 to be mana efficient. And we'll just pass the turn, Ziggo. Next turn, if we get land, we can Flicker of Fate the Dreadful Apathy, move it around onto another creature. He probably has Uro, there's no reason he should be self-milling other than trying to find Uro. But if he's gonna deck himself unintentionally just to get Uro, and we have the answer to Uro, maybe we can stabilize. Okay, none are Uro, so this is kind of unfortunate for him. I guess he could have the Typhon. Now the board's kind of getting scary. I do need some creatures to block here, so hopefully a creature. But no, I think we might have to do the whole Flicker of Fate thing here because we do have a backup Banishing Light. So I think we just go for it now. So what we wanted, so then I mean, he could do another creature main phase. So I think we just say go. And even if he has Starlight Mantle, what we can do is it still comes into the battlefield. So we want to do this pre-combat, right? So, and it's already pre-combat, so yeah, let's exile here. And then even if he has Starlight Mantle, the thing is, yeah, even if he has Starlight Mantle, the thing is that, what am I about to say? It doesn't stop the attachments because it's not targeting, so we get to prevent extra 2 damage. Not sure if this is correct, because if he does a Starlight Mantle, now I can't really Banishing Light Uro. So at least we're preventing the extra 2 damage, and at 9 life, I think we need to be careful here. Guess the second black source isn't fine, but we desperately need creatures in this deck in order to function, so we'll just say go. Is there any reason to keep up the Dreadful Apathy? Not really. He could have enchantments, hate, but we can just activate this twice. Yeah, there's no reason to keep this on battlefield. Rise to Glory can maybe bring it back, but we definitely need creatures here. We're flooding pretty badly, and we only had 2 creatures this entire game, but it does happen. You can always get lucky with Magic. Opponent's also flooding. Okay, I guess we'll just play our Cat Warrior and trade. I don't mind that. No reason to play defense here. I mean, use the Banishing Light on the 2/2 binding. So he definitely has Uro. But if we do, okay, milled some lands at least. 1 with the stars. Okay, I could Banishing Light 1 with the stars now. I'm hoping I get a creature off the top. Okay, Omen of the Dead is not too bad. What will we Omen? I guess we don't mind omening the Reverent Hoplitte and making a couple of tokens. Banishing Light doesn't seem necessary here because we want to use Banishing Light on Uro and not anything else. I wish he milled something better off the top of my library, but I think we have to use the Omen of the Dead now because he can just exile next turn on our creatures. And I think we just want to get back to Reverent Hoplitte here. I mean, if we Reverent Hoplitte, we only make 2 tokens. That's the only problem. Yeah, that kind of sucks. I guess we want to escape the Sentinel's Eyes this turn. I guess we want to just Omen here. Maybe get back to Pious Wayfarer or Reverend. I guess Reverend just gives us an extra body instead of Pious Wayfarer. Yeah, so I guess Reverend is fine. Cast a Reverend and then cast Sentinel's Eyes on it. So he doesn't escape, he doesn't exile our Sentinel's Eyes. Yeah, I think this is correct. Although we couldn't Sentinel's Eyes first, and we'll just exile 2 cards here, and now we can hold off to 2/2 at least. And say go. But it's definitely Uro, I think, if he's self-milling. I guess he has Thassa's Oracle. Yeah, it could just be Thassa's Oracle here to win the game. And yeah, it's probably Thassa's Oracle that he's trying to do, so. Yeah, he's trying to win with Thassa's Oracle now that I think about it, because I haven't seen an Uro yet. Rise to Glory, what can that do? That can bring back Pious Wayfarer and Mara's Grasp, and maybe we need to get an attack, so I think we just do it now. As much as I would like to get something back, that's better. We just want to just apply pressure at this point. And then try to do as much damage before he kills us with Thassa's Oracle. We can also Banishing Light to get the Leonin. The Leonin will still attack the following turn, but again, just to be safe, maybe I need to keep the Banishing Light for a large creature. Yeah, he definitely has Thassa's Oracle, because otherwise he would have, the binding can get it back, so we have to kill him quickly. Hopefully no Starlight Mantle, but I think we need the Pious Wayfarer first, of course. I think he has a counterspell here, but we don't have an option. We have to play this. And if he counters it, oh well. I mean, we had a pretty bad, I mean, this game was not amazing either way. Could see a Starlight Mantle. I think we just pump the tokens. Doesn't really matter. Can't think of anything at instant speed that can amp. I guess he could have a Vexing Goal, but I think we're still forced to get in, even with this minor misplay, perhaps. Yeah, he has the Vexing Goal. So I should have played around it and maybe pumped the Pious Wayfarer. But hopefully we can maybe deal with this next turn. Yeah, I didn't expect it because it's kind of late and he could have played it earlier, but if he slaps an enchantment onto this, we're dead. If he plays Thassa's, yeah, if he slaps an enchantment, we're just pretty much dead. If we can't kill him next turn, we're pretty much dead. So we kind of have to get lucky here. Maybe we can find a Lampad off the top to gain us some life. That would be awesome. he wants to use a removal, that's still fine. I think we just need the Lampad to stabilize, maybe. That's totally fine too. He's playing it extra safe here because he might be afraid we have a pump trick, but we definitely need to find something here for either the Vexing Goal or to gain some life. Lampad is perfect off the top, so that's going to save us. And we're going to cast a Lampad here, but I think we main phase this in case he has removal and instant speed. And I think we just want to sack the Pious Wayfarer now. And sack a token, I guess. It can't even attack past a 2/2. And go to 3. And then hopefully we can get him for 2 next turn and end the game. Okay, probably trying to find Thassa. Those are nice cards. Uro, yeah, he had it. I thought it was Thassa's Oracle, but now with Uro it's going to be a lot harder to beat. Because he can just gain life. I guess he can deck himself accidentally. Yeah, I guess he can deck himself, so we just might have to rely on him decking himself for us to win, because he's only at 2 cards, unless he has Thassa's Oracle. So, yeah, if he wants to escape it again, he has 2 more draw steps. We might just have to keep the chump blockers back to stay alive. And we can definitely get there, you know, we can survive 3 more turns of the Vexing Goal. So, yeah, this is really close. So we don't need to necessarily sack anything here. We just need to wait until he attacks pre-combat for Vexing Goal. But I think we have this. Unfortunately, his Earl was in the bottom of the library, but we also had removal for it. But he could also have Starlight Mantle, so we'll just say go. And yeah, he only has 2 more draw steps to kill us, so I think we should be fine here, and we'll just say go and pass the turn. No reason to do anything. And yeah, he's just dead next turn. If he attacks for Uro, he's just dead, so we just want to sack our creatures before damage. And then yeah, we'll be up to 3, and we'll just pass priority, and hopefully he doesn't have like a pump trick out of nowhere. Yeah, just good game. I can't imagine him beating me here. There's no damage base removal in blue-green. I mean, damage burn in blue-green. Unless he have an extra draw step, but I highly doubt it. Sage is not going to do anything. I don't understand. This card is just... 0/2 is not even a good blocker in the early game, so it's just good games here. Yeah. And we even flooded out really badly this game, so we kind of dodged a bullet, so we'll just pass a turn. Opponent can't do anything, and he loses. If he had Uro out earlier, it would have been scary, but he didn't have any Starlight Mantles, so we had Dreadful Apathy, we had Banishing Light to at least exile it. But the most scariest result was having Thassa's Oracle. So then because the binding of the Old God would make sense with Thassa's Oracle if you're self-milling yourself that much, because at least the binding gets the Thassa's Oracle in the 3rd chapter. But yeah, it was a pretty interesting matchup, and we had pretty bad draws, but unfortunately the opponent milled himself too much, and we stabilized against him, so we managed to dodge a nice bullet there. If he had the Uro out earlier and he could have Mystic Repeal like Banishing Lights or Dreadful Apathy, we would have definitely been in trouble that game. So it was pretty unlucky for the opponent to have Uro in like the last 6-10 cards of his library. I think it was like the last 4 cards or something. Last 3 cards more, or 4 cards or 5 cards, because the moment he played it, he only had 1 more draw step to get there. So pretty unfortunate. But if he had out earlier, I think he could have definitely ran away with the game, but luckily we got the Lampad on top of our library. But that game we flooded out really badly, and it goes to show you, even in a 16-land low curve deck, it's still potential for flood, although not as highly as 17, of course, but you can still flood. So don't be surprised. Opening hand, Pious. Okay, it's not bad. We can maybe curve out Pious into Leonin. We have 2 green-white Devotion up, so once we have 3rd land, we can play Daybreak Chimera, so it's not bad opening hand. And it's one of those that can definitely run away with the game, of course, so we'll leave the Pious. Hopefully we can get a 3rd land to curve out with Daybreak Chimera on turn 3. And I don't want to get this out before Favored, because it's going to be a lot more expensive if one of these creatures die. So, alright, hero, we can't really block that. Sure. I guess I can play my second hero, or the Leonin. The Leon could just be better, perhaps, because you could exile an escape creature like the whatchamacallit, the Rage Hound, but it does hit harder, so I don't mind taking 2 or trading this. It could be actually Leonin. I don't mind getting it out now because by getting it out now, it plays better. And trading here, it's better against Wrapped in Flames. Do I block? I think it's okay. If I do play get a land though, I'm gonna cry. But this is I think I want to get rid of Leonin early in case he could have a Wrapped in Flames, and Wrapped in Flames kills the 3/1s anyways. Okay, sure. So now this doesn't feel too great because I could have played a Chimera out the following turn. So now what? We can play the Favored, maybe attack for 1, take 4, and hopefully we don't take too much damage. I can also just put the 2/2 in front of it, but I feel like I need to keep this back just to be aggressive. Although now the Pious Wayfarer, that's going to be quite scary. And the damage is going to add up with Anax, so this opponent might just kill us. Pious Wayfarer into Hero, maybe blocking the 4/2. Into Lampad, I have no idea. I mean, we should have enough white to get a 2-drop Daybreak Chimera next turn, but getting it out this turn is also pretty decent, but I think I still need to build a board here, so we're just going to try it like this. Say go. And I'm hoping he doesn't trigger Constellation pre-combat. Eventually, I'm hoping he runs out of Constellation. So he's going all in. This does imply he has a go wide pump effect. So if he has a go wide pump effect, I feel like we just want to block with 1 creature here and not worry about the rest, because it feels like he has like Failings tactics here, and I'd rather just prevent the most damage and not lose any of these other creatures. Infuriates, okay. Still bad, but at least he doesn't kill my whole entire board. And now this Iroas is mostly going to maybe play defense. I think I'll just play the Chimera out before we never play him. Yeah, we probably need to play defense now, and hopefully he runs out of pump spells. He does probably has Wrapped in Flames in his deck, so yeah, not bad. Yeah, we have to block, right? Otherwise, we're never gonna survive against this guy. So yeah, he probably has a pump trick here. That sucks. I mean, it's not the worst because at least he doesn't. This is bad. Yeah, this is very bad. At least his Pious Wayfarer dies, but we're still in a pretty bad shape here, and he's making tokens as well. Okay, maybe we can land into. We don't have any enchantments to get back with Laguna, but we might just have to play it as a ground blocker. That's pretty sad though. So let's think here. We could double block the 6/2, take 5, and then maybe Laguna can gain us some life by bringing back the Lampad. I wish we had an enchantment to get back from the graveyard, but yeah, I think the Lampad is the correct choice here, so maybe we can double block the 6/2 and trade for it, and then hopefully Laguna can gain us 2 life by getting back the Lampad, trade for the 4/2. I mean, I guess it loses Devotion if the trade does happen. If he has Wrapped in Flames, we're just dead here, but not bad from the opponent. Don't sleep on red-white, guys. Aggro is not by any means unplayable in this set. It's just a little bit more difficult because of all the escape creatures, but when you can assemble all these heroic combos and Wrapped in Flames, you can definitely just steal games. But I'm hoping he just doesn't have any pump tricks. I'm hoping he just attacks with a 6/2. Okay, that's bad, but sure. I guess we can still take it here and still play Laguna, gain some life, and have the extra blocker next turn. Yeah, I don't think chumping is a winning game plan, so I think I'm going to block the token. If he has a pump spell, we're just dead anyway. So yeah, this opponent just had everything, so not much we can do against it. So alright, our first loss. Even at Mythic rank 12, we can't win every single game. And we only lost 1 ranking, it's not a big deal. I think I made all the best decisions possible, but the opponent just had too much pump, and the Pious Wayfarer and Hero being able to gain extra stat bonuses from either Constellation or the target trigger. Definitely made blocking a bit of a nightmare. So. Alright, Daxos on 2, maybe Leonin first, obviously. But actually, Daxos and the Chimera can be pretty interesting. Yeah, I think that's pretty interesting. So if we play Daxos, I guess it's going to be 3 mana. So we just want to maybe curve out Daxos and the Chimera on 3, and hopefully it survives. So yeah, let's try that. Let's just get out Daxos ASAP. Next turn we can play Chimera for 3, as opposed to curving out with Leonin, which can even block Daxos. So yeah, we can play Chimera. This will have the extra 4 toughness, and we can attack past the 1/2. That's pretty cool. He could slap a Sentinel's Eyes into this. Don't sleep on Pious Wayfarer. This is a pretty nice white common, especially since there's a lot of ways to trigger Constellation in this set. Yeah, he might just go on with the Sentinel's Eyes plans, which is definitely very scary. So we might have to stay back on defense, take 4 on turn 2. But we could always stabilize later, so let's play Daybreak Chimera, stay back. And just hold off the ground. So yeah, we could just play Frigga Spawn, maybe eventually set up some sort of double block, kill Pious Wayfarer, and then maybe re-escape Frigga Spawn or reanimate her, we'll see. So blue-white Constellation, maybe Staggering Insight. So we want to maybe have a lot of power and toughness on the battlefield in case he slaps an aura onto this, but he's probably going to try to slap it onto a Transcendent Envoy instead. Can I think of anything in single blue? Maybe Starlight Mantle at instant speed. I still think I take 4. Many things can go wrong here. And Dreadful Apathy isn't too bad, but he still gets the Constellation triggers. I want to be able to be sure that he has the Staggering Insight before I Dreadful Apathy, so I think I just run out the Frigga Spawn, and next turn we can do some decent blocking against this Pious Wayfarer so he doesn't kill us. But he can just always just pump the Transcendent Envoy, which is kind of annoying, so he might just have to Dreadful Apathy the Transcendent Envoy next turn so he doesn't hit us for a million. But yeah, there we have it. Staggering Insight, hopefully no Karametra's Blessing, but we definitely can't block this, so alright, hopefully no Karametra's Blessing or Starlight Mantle next turn, or we're going to be in trouble. Alright, we just have to go for it, right? Like, go big or go home. And we got him. Excellent. So now we can play the Leonin, and I don't think we can attack. I can attack for 3 in the air. Maybe that's okay, since I do have a good ground blocker here, and I do need to pressure him, so maybe this is fine, and then I don't mind Frigga Spawn dying if we go for some sort of double or triple block. I do need to exile the Dreadful Apathy eventually, so then he can't, so I can get into Graveyard for Rise, and he doesn't have any Flicker of Fate effects or protection effects, so I definitely want to activate this Dreadful Apathy ASAP, but at least we got him the turn he didn't have Karametra's Blessing, so yeah, this was a correct line of play, not firing this off too early, and getting a nice, maybe, it's still 1-for-1 because he draws a card, but at least he can't constantly connect and gain life. Hopefully we can find Lampad in case he has a Dreadful Apathy for our Frigga Spawn. But a 2/6 blocker is quite nice, so I don't necessarily want to lose my Daybreak Chimera or Leonin, so maybe it's just fine attacking while this stays back. I guess this acts as a white permanent too, so maybe I just want the Dreadful Apathy to stick on the battlefield. One of the stars, okay, but we can maybe set up a double block at least against this Pious Wayfarer, which is a problem, and I think I will because it's a lot of damage. And we still gain life, so one of the stars wasn't the best answer for us. I guess I don't mind exiling this still, because I can just Rise to Glory, Frigga Spawn, and Apathy right away, so let's just do it ASAP before we get completely owned. And I'll play land attack for 3 in the air because I don't plan on blocking with the 3/3. Whereas I'm fine trading with the Leonin here because I can exile the Sentinel's Eyes. And I still gain life if it dies, so it's not the worst. And I think I'm blocking it. Although it's going to be a 3/4, right? I guess I'm fine taking 3. It's not like you'll kill me out of nowhere. Yeah, we're fine blocking this. And next turn we can still Apathy. I mean, Rise to Glory, get back Apathy and Pharika Spawn, and lock this down. Yeah, I'll take 4. And Karametra's Blessing also won't work, because it's not targeting. Ooh, Helit's Pilgrim though, Mars Grasp, that's pretty awesome too. I think I prefer that maybe over the Rise to Glory. Rise to Glory would be the more safer approach, but I think this is more efficient. So let's just get the Helit's Pilgrim out. Trigger gain some life, so we probably stole this game here. And we want to just get out the Mars Grasp to take out the Pious Wayfarer before it becomes a nuisance. And then we'll keep the Leonin back on defense, attack for 3 in the air, so not bad. And now this is better than just running out Rise and Pharika Spawn, because he still gets the Constellation triggers that we need to be careful of. Second Leonin is not bad. I don't really feel like I need to Rise to Glory here, because if I just lose a Leonin, I can just essentially escape Pharika Spawn. So I think I'm fine with this. I can attack for 3 in the air, and if he tries to pump the hero, I'll just maybe chump it, or throw a Leonin in front of it, and eventually just exile the Sentinel's Eyes if this dies. Okay, so he's going to go for some sort of hyper-aggressive attack here. I can't think of anything in single blue at instant speed, so if he's going to go for this attack, I can still double block, and I'm totally fine. I mean, I just put these 2 in front of it, right? And I can still exile both of his Sentinel's Eyes. I don't hate that. Yeah, let's just do this. It's totally fair. Yeah, he's just totally screwed here. We can just exile both Sentinel's Eyes, so then the Pious Wayfarer gets less effective. I'm gaining 2 life. So yeah, let's just we'll just exile both of these annoying Sentinel's Eyes. But definitely the Pious Wayfarers can be a very scary effect, so don't sleep on it. And we can now escape Pharika Spawn. Yeah, I don't mind it. We can just exile the Leonins. And I think we keep the Dreadful Apathy over Mars Grasp, since Rise to Glory is more effective that way. Do I need to play land out? Not really. And then we'll just attack for 4, so yeah, not bad. He still has an annoying flyer to get rid of. Pharika Spawn is hard to attack and block into. He needs an answer to the 5/6 and the flyer, so yep, we managed to do very well against him. And he doesn't have a Dream Trawler, so yep. His deck could have definitely ran away with the game if we didn't have if the Dreadful Apathy didn't resolve and he had Hexproof. But luckily he didn't have Karametra's Blessing. Otherwise, yeah, that staggering insight on the Envoy could have just completely owned us. But luckily we have a lot of removal in this deck, so that's why it's very important to pick up a lot of the best efficient removal at common and uncommon in limited and even rare, because there's a lot of scary cards running around that you need answers to, and removal is also great in aggressive decks, even though if you prefer a higher creature count. So let's get our final 7 wins, and let's change the picture of this deck. What the hell's going on? Why is there Revoke Existence? It's Rise to Glory this time, come on. This makes a lot more sense, yeah. And we're still running 16 lands, so this is pretty awesome. And yeah, final boss will hit the 2-minute mark. And maybe I can go up to like rank 10 or rank 11, but it's close. I would love to make it the top 10 maybe in one of my videos, but it is a little bit difficult, I have to say, because at this rank you don't rank up too much, and again, as more days pass, more people are going to hit mythic, and then my ranking will fall down. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to catch up. So yeah, 12 is pretty high though. So why am I facing against a silver ranking opponent? I think the people who designed this game need to the developers need to somehow like adjust the ranking system. But I mean, if it's free wins and it helps you rank, I guess I'll take it. But ooh, Daxos, yeah, I'll leave with Pious Wayfarer into Daxos into a turn 3 Chimera, which is pretty sick. I mean, Daxos by itself makes this into a turn 3 Chimera, so we can possibly turn 2 Chimera, which is even more insane. So let's just go for this. Hopefully it doesn't have Mystic Repeal or Return to Nature. And yeah, let's just get in for 2, and then we can play a turn 2 Chimera, which is pretty nuts. Yeah, we'll just get it out there. This is pretty insane, just getting this out. And we have all the White Devotion for Reverent Hoplitte. So this is like the best starting hand we could have hoped for. Although, this can't really attack past much. So what do we want to do here? We could heal at Pilgrim instead. Next turn we can Lampad and Daybreak Chimera. Maybe that's just better. And hopefully none of my white tournaments gets answered. And we just need to find an answer to this 1-4, I think. So I think we're just going to find a Dreadful Apathy, maybe off the top. Or Mars Grasp. Mars Grasp would be nice. He still keeps the creature, but it's not going to block effectively anymore. He still gets a creature to like keep as a body, but the fact that it loses effectiveness means that it just becomes a chump blocker, and it's pretty efficient with the mana. We can just Daybreak Chimera into Lampad. And we do want to get rid of 1-4, honestly, because we can't really attack much into it. I guess if we trigger Constellation with the Pious Wayfarer onto the Daybreak Chimera, it gets rid of it. Maybe Apathy is still correct, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Apathy seems correct here. And we'll just get in for 1, because this is just going to gain him life, and we don't want him gaining life forever. But lots of interesting decisions. So, as much as I don't want to just play my enchantment creatures out, I feel like it's important to still develop the board, so maybe I still double spell next turn, regardless. But this is a nice ground blocker for him in the meantime. I don't like this card in white-green. I like it more in like green-blue, which is more like controlling, or black-green, which is more controlling. Not the best in... oh, he missed. Top 7 cards can't even find an aura. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay, with second Lampad, I think I'm fine running this out. And I can run out Lampad. And do I even attack? Not really. It doesn't really accomplish anything. I guess I could have pumped the heal its Pilgrim, attack with both, and maybe offer a trade for Siona. So that was a bit of a misplay. Could have pumped the heal its Pilgrim, attack with both. He double blocks, maybe heal his Pilgrim. We still killed Siona, which is a good target. But right now, I think we're just fine. If we get land, maybe I'm just fine using Reverent Hoplitte and just making 1,000,000 tokens and gaining a ton of life. Because it's just efficient, and we can maybe set up a turn where we Apathy and Lampad. But we'll see. I should have maybe pumped this to get in for 2. Okay, Sentinel's Eyes and Warbriar's Blessing, perhaps. It seems like what he's planning to do. Although I could just Dreadful Apathy this, but now we have our 5th land. I think I Apathy here and attack, because I do get the extra white permanent. Hopefully no Starlight Mantle. That would suck. We do have Banishing Light left in the deck. Okay, we can't have them all. So it's effectively just a 3/6, which is very annoying. So we probably need to do the whole go wide plan instead now. Yeah, this is annoying. Let's just play the Lampad and just try to go wide maybe and kill him that way. We do have another Banishing Light and Dreadful Apathy in the deck, so it's not the end. And we do have Mars Grasp that can maybe shrink this down and maybe allow us to attack for 3. So it's not the worst. Maybe there's a fight spell that would suck here, but what can you do? Forerunner, I don't care about that. White-green wants to be more aggressive, not controlling. He can eventually sacrifice this for 7, so there's ways he can run away with this. Ooh, Mars Grasp. Okay, I think we just get the Mars Grasp down ASAP. And then we are fine attacking for a 4 in the air. He gets a chump block, but I don't really care. Just can hold off the 5/6 for a long time, so just want to get in damage ASAP here. And then next turn maybe set up a Reverent Hoplitte and go incredibly wide, but this is okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one more land and he can draw 3, which is pretty annoying, but hopefully he doesn't drop like Dream Trawler or some insane bomb against us. If he has Flicker of Fates, I guess he can still flicker the Starlight Mantle or the Sentinel's Eyes into something else. I think I'm just going to block the 5/6 here. I'm not really scared of anything. I can also just put a 1/2 in front of it as well. It does make my Hoplite worse if something bad happens, so maybe I'm fine taking 5 because I'm just going to gain back all the life next turn anyways. So yeah, I think I'm fine with this. And then I'll just play the Reverent Hoplite instead and play a lot safer because I'm at 19, I'm just about to gain a ton of life. Omen is nice, it can get back nothing currently. Let's just play this main phase. I mean, I could have also used it second main maybe, since I might miss on 3 attack if it decides to bounce up Chimera, but yeah, this is a lot of life, so losing 5 wasn't the worst. And now I have tokens to block the Nyxborn Herald, and I also have them to sack the Forerunner, so this is going to be a long, grindy game that we're hoping for, and we also, again, have tokens to sack, so this is fine. Hopefully she doesn't top deck like a... I mean, he would have played it out, right? If it was a land, he would have played it out to sack, so he definitely has something. I feel like it could just be a pump trick. So in that case, maybe we just put the tokens in front of it, and if he has a pump trick, we sack him. Sure, we take the trample damage, but it's better than nothing. I guess I just run out the hero, gain some life, keep up my sack, attack for 3 in the air. Is there any reason to go wide? If we go wide, what happens? We lose... How much damage do we get in? I mean, if he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 effective blockers, we don't get in for that much. I think we just get in for 3. And eventually we'll find like Sentinel's Eyes to put on the hero of the games, and then we can just pump the whole team in alpha. He'll sack this game free, but he does lose a blocker, which I'm fine with. But I'm hoping he doesn't drop a Dream Trawler in front of me, because I'm going to cry. Him splashing Dream Trawler would be the worst case scenario. Or, I mean, Uro is fine, I can manage Uro, but please don't drop a Dream Trawler. Game, I'm telling you, please. For once, be nice to me. This is the final boss. It can't be a Dream Trawler, can it? Okay, not a Dream Trawler. Cura's Best of Sea God would be brutal too, but at 28 we would still survive. So we could try something cute. We could sack the Reverent Hoplite and make even more tokens and Omen it end of turn. I could also Pilgrim here. Not sure. There's a lot of options. Do I want to sack this and loop it? Not really. I think the Omen could be used for the flyer, and now we have an Omen of the Sun. I think we just main phase it here, so we can get him for 4 in the air as opposed to 3, and maybe force him to chump even more. Yeah, this is fine. Make more tokens, and eventually maybe we can sack the whole army and kill him. I'm just hoping I have a way to pump the Hero of the Pride and go for an Alpha Strike. It still doesn't look like it's a good all-in attack, so 4 is fine. And forcing a chump on the Nexus Warden is also pretty decent to get rid of ground blocker. Okay, I guess that delays us. So maybe should have... actually, it cost 1 white to cast anyways, and at least we got rid of Stern Dismissal, which would have been annoying too. But yeah, I don't know how he can I don't know how he can win this. We're just going way too wide, gaining way too much life. The only win is maybe Dream Trawler. I don't care about the Typhon. We can still manage that. We can just chump it all day and sack. I guess it has Trample too, so we should be careful. Nutterlands, okay. So yeah, I guess we'll just play the Chimera. Maybe we can try something cute by sacrificing the Hoplite end of turn and going for that game plan. Going even more wide, gaining even more life. It's more cute than necessary, I have to say. We can sack the Pilgrim, reanimate it, get another Dreadful Apathy maybe. I do have 2 copies in the deck, and maybe we just want to exile the Voracious Typhon at that point. Lots of cute things we can do. I can just start sacking the Lampad and draining him, of course. I guess I can sack the Heliod, play Heliod, get back the Sentinel's Eyes, pump the team in alpha. Maybe that can be a good game plan decision. I don't really feel the need to get Daxos, even though it's a good ground blocker, but I guess we can just sack this instead since we're not sure what to get. And Pious Wayfarer Leonin doesn't seem like what I need here at this stage of the game, so I think I'll bomb both. Although Pious can let us hit harder, it's just not that effective, honestly. I just want to find a better card, like a Banishing Light seems good. Guess we can Banishing Light Voracious Typhon here, because it can escape. And now we can trigger Constellation, pump the Flyer, attack for 3. Flicker of Fate also wouldn't have been bad, since we could sacrifice the Pilgrim, get back a Dreadful Apathy, and he's chumping now, which I'm totally fine with as well, since now he can't gain life from the Constellation, and that's a pretty sick 3-for-1 there, just knocking out the Sentinel's Eye, Starlight Mantle, and the Nexus Warden, so not bad. That's the card he was aiming for. Okay, it's manageable. I don't mind it. We can always chump it for days. And he could just deck himself if he constantly attacks, so Uro is not something I'm too scared of. And it's funny enough, I mean, it would make sense, right? Since blue-green is a pretty bad color combination, unless you have Eutropia, that you want a good mythic in that 2-color combination. Because if your 2-color combination is broken, you have a bomb like Uro, it wouldn't make too much sense since the archetype would be extremely broken, whereas blue-green is not a great combination. And you rather just, I don't think he can kill us, like we can just keep looping back the Reverent Hoplitte, gaining even more life, sacrificing. Yeah, it's going to take him a long time, but I guess he has Trample, so we could just play it safe and do the whole Heliod's Pilgrim thing and exile the Uro. I mean, I can always make a million chump blockers, right? Let's stack the Hoplites. Let's be fancy here and cute. This is really cute here. Yeah, let's just try this instead. It's very cute. Like, I could do the Heliod's, get the Dreadful Apathy, but again, this is a lot more cuter and fun. Doesn't matter here. Yeah, it's gonna take a long time for it to actually get us. I wish I can play this first, but we gotta drop the Hoplite at this point. And yeah, good luck trampling through this opponent. And I think I'll just put a bunch of blockers in front of 6/6. Like, I'm totally fine with that, honestly. Or not. Nexus Warden. So now we want the Sentinel's Eyes. We can scry on our upkeep too, but maybe don't need to do so. Do I put 6 creatures in front of it? I don't actually hate it. I mean, it does make me lose a bunch of stuff, but I still get to, I guess I need to put 7 things in front of it. How much should I lose? 6 tokens? It's not that bad. I mean, I have more tokens for days. For a second block, I can also just take it, which I also don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind taking it. I'd rather just have the Leonin out to put less tokens on the battlefield, since I would have more to sack and kill him. So you need Shatter the Sky here, but again, there's not a lot of board wipes in this set. And yeah, we'll just play Leonin, play land, keep up Omen of the Dead, and then say go. No reason to attack because the 1/4 blocks this effectively. Yeah, that's a funny band control deck. He's trying to stall, get to the late game with Uro, but now we pretty much have all of our defenses anyways in a deck that's trying to be more aggressive, so it's kind of interesting here. And I'll just throw in the Leonin in front of the 6/6, and I don't care about this. It's like he's trying to do the same thing as what we're trying to do, but we're doing it better. And he's going to end up decking himself first, so I don't really care. And I'll throw the Leonin in front of this. He probably has a trick, but at least it baits it out. And I can always sacrifice the Leonin if it doesn't die, and to get rid of the Sentinel's Eyes, of course. Okay, so I'll just put 7. I'll just put the Leonin in front of this, and 4 tokens. I don't see a reason to put any more than that. And I guess I could just exile Uro if Uro dies, but still exiling the Sentinel's Eyes is fine. And yeah. Do I care about exiling Uro? I don't really care, but I think I will have to care, because it can just keep coming back, and it could just be his largest creature that can maybe trample over for 1 million. So yeah, now he loses his bomb. He's just gonna play defense all day, and Yeah, it's just not gonna. It's just not gonna accomplish much at this point. Flicker of Fate can be pretty neat with what? Heliod's Pilgrim, maybe something else. I guess with a Reverent Hoplitte is pretty cute, so we can try that too. Yeah, why not? Let's just keep the Flicker of Fate here. And again, we don't need to be aggressive here. We can just stay back and not even do anything, honestly. And we can flicker a Reverent Hoplite at instant speed to generate even more tokens. So we'll just keep saying go here. We don't have to worry too much. Just hope and just have him deck himself, because I think we can grind him out. Even if he has Dream Shower at this point, I think he'll deck himself out, because we just have so much life gain and to stabilize that there's really no need to even be aggressive at this stage of the game. Yeah, there's really no need. Just wait till he decks himself. Just play the extra land just to have that extra token sack in case we need it.